All right, we ready? What do we got here? All right, check. And action, off we go. Welcome to Here's Your Freaking Podcast with the Jason Lee Cluck Show. As always, thank you for being a part of it. You can stay up to date all things JLNK, obviously, by heading over to jlnkshow.com. On the podcast today, we'll talk about, what do we got? We've got the dangers, the safety concerns people have about you standing up when you pee. We've also got some fun, just reading them before we started, some fun Urban Dictionary definitions. We've done these before. It's a new year, so they've got a new. What are we Googling the most when it comes to the Urban Dictionary? And we'll break it down by states. Some of these, or some of the more popular states, and what they're known for on Urban Dictionary. Some of these things are just disgustingly hilarious. Oh yeah, and then we'll also find. Are you interested in increasing the size of your load?
I mean, I haven't
That's
gotten.
old. What? That's old. Is take a load off, Franny.
I haven't gotten any comments that my load is too small or that my load is too big. Hey, my load is just right.
Your load is a little light.
She's like, that's bigger than me come at all. Pathetic.
We'll wrap up with apparently when you're taking some load boosters, it may not be good for you. We'll also find out how big is the average load to be considered normal.
You know, I hate
is so stupid.
Before you give me the actual number later in the podcast, I want you to let me guess because I've heard an urban legend that this particular band was named after this because it's the size of the average bunch of cum.
Okay.
It's a band you know of.
Is it 3 Days Grace?
No.
All right. Let's start right here. We did these a couple of weeks ago, and then somebody else decided, hey, that's pretty good. I wonder what the women around here, I wonder how they would answer this question. They asked the women over at Bored Panda, they said, hey, what's an unfiltered question that you want to ask men and hopefully get an honest answer to? A couple of these are painful because, again, it comes back to you may not always want the truth because sometimes the truth fucking hurts, right?
I'm trying to think of what they would ask that I wouldn't be aware that they wanted to ask because you read some things on the internet like
there's a lot of these.
you sit on it when you go when you take a dump.
Yeah,
that
that was funny. That was the last one a couple weeks ago. They said, "What do you do with it while you're sitting down on the toilet? Does it hang in the water, or do you put it up on the seat?" Which was my favorite.
I coil it in a sleeping cobra in my lap.
I have like two regular legs and then a little leg in the middle.
Yep.
That's pointing at the shower. So here's what they asked this time. I saw some of these things and I thought, if my wife asked me any of these questions, I don't think I could answer them. I would say, don't you have something better you could be doing right now than asking me this dumb shit?
Would you say, what?
The number one is a great example. The women asked, what's the weirdest thing you've ever gotten a boner to? I think your go-to answer is always like the bus, right? The bus ride when you were a kid. Essentially any vibration when you're at a certain age, when you're doing like middle school or high school, everything, literally everything, every little nudge gives you a boner.
Even leaning against something that's dick high, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
You can also say Maid Marian from Robin Hood.
Yeah, if you get a weird, Laurel and Hardy handshake from someone, it still jostles it a little bit, and it says, "Oh, is it time?"
A slight breeze.
Right. Do men discuss their sex life with their friends, or do they keep it private? Most dudes keep it private, like really, really private. Like we don't talk about it like girls do. Like when we find out that women talk about everything sexually with their girlfriends, we were shocked because we don't do that. And that, I'll be honest with you, fucks us all up a little bit on the inside, wondering, what are you talking about? What are you telling them?
I mean, there's an age where you'll either confirm sex happened or you'll lie about it. But as far as like getting into details, I don't ever remember being like, and then I was doing this chick from the back. We know people that will bring up sex stuff like dudes that do it. They always fucking gross us out. Like Old Man Ernie's a great example.
If they're talking about it in detail, there's a pretty good chance that it didn't happen. It's not that it didn't happen that way. It didn't fucking happen, period.
If he uses the word coos, it also did not happen.
If you had the chance to use non-medicinal birth control, would you? Sure.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Was that not over the counter?
Well, like a vasectomy is not over the counter. They'd be like, well, no, pills medicinal. I guess I don't know.
Any sort of birth control, if you had that opportunity.
Well, yeah.
We're not reluctant to that. I don't know why there seems to be. I mean, it's an inconvenience, and everybody would rather pass that inconvenience on to somebody else.
Right.
You could be in charge of the birth control, but if somebody else can be in charge of it, well, I like it better if they were in charge of it than I was.
I mean, back in the day, if she asked me to use a condom because she didn't want to have a child with me, I would say, sure, I don't want a child with me either.
Mm-hmm. What's something you wish women knew to do in bed with you, and are some things that we do that you hate? The most popular answer: thrust. Damn it! I'm working up a sweat, and you're just a dead fish. I would have phrased that differently if there was a woman in the room. Wow, I would have completely said.
I want you to do as much work as I'm doing.
Do you have any idea how terrible it is to be to not being able to tell if your partner is enjoying themselves or not? We need some sort of reaction.
Well, sometimes you got to keep the vocals down because there are other people in the house.
Is that your mother-in-law?
That is.
Questions women want to ask men.
Which causes me, I believe, to want to get it over as quick as possible.
No, I mean that's just natural.
No, but I don't find myself for the last 13 and a half months thinking we should extend this as long. Let's just go all afternoon. You're just like, let's hurry up so she doesn't suspect we're out here fucking.
Does sex really feel different for you without a condom on? Yeah, with or without. It's a huge
It
difference.
feels fantastic. Makes you wonder why I even wore those things.
Unfiltered questions women want to ask men. How does poop not get stuck to your hairy butt? I don't know, the same way it doesn't with a dog, I guess. I mean, when a dog goes outside to poop, she doesn't come in with poop all over her.
Well, I think we've used the term before. It's like wiping mashed potatoes out of a fish net. Like, you just got to work at it, but it can be done.
Here's a tough one. Unfiltered questions women want to ask men. Do you get bored of your partner easily? Here's the painful response. It's like you're watching your favorite movie for over the 30th time.
It's still my favorite movie, but
You watch it, you can quote the lines. It's comfortable in the same way that home is comfortable, but it's not like the first time. But then this guy follows up quick. But no, not like that's a bad thing. Not that that's a bad thing. And of course,
sometimes you'll be watching your favorite movie, you've got to noodle on your phone a little bit because you know what's happening.
right.
Your mind tends to wander a little bit.
I know the forward, backwards, and the sideways of the plot. I know everything. I know every detail about this movie. And then here's the one obligatory dick question. When you run, does it flop around?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also,
Hey, wouldn't it look weird if it didn't? It was just stationary, like a camera.
it just stood out like a strong twig on a tree in the breeze.
I imagine physically it probably has to behave a lot like boobs do.
Yeah,
If you run your boobs swing, if you run your dick swings.
that's what I look at it as. I mean, when you were kids and you did sports, you had to wear a jock, right, to keep everything in place. Same thing as a sports bra, right?
Andrew on YouTube says that it catches wind like a kite. It's so big. I don't know about that. It's like a flying squirrel.
It's like trying to slow down a drag car.
Blow out the chute. I'm going too fast.
Apparently to pee standing up or sitting down. That is the question. It's a debate that's raged through parts of the TikTok universe lately.
Well, I haven't peed sitting down since the seniors in high school made me do it as a freshman. You sit down when you pee. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I know. How do you guys go? One OBGYN advising ladies, do not pee when you're in the shower, no matter how tempted you are.
How tempted. Just sitting there.
I don't think women don't get tempted by that shit. That's a guy thing.
I knew I shouldn't, but I did.
Right, the forbidden urine.
Yeah.
No, that's a guy thing. Women don't get tempted to do stuff like that. That's a guy thing. Oh, I'm standing on a deck. I should pee off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing on a roof. I should pee off of it.
Yeah, you really want to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. Pee in the shower when you're not showering.
According to this OBGYN, this advice isn't just exclusive for women.
I forget what the story was, or if we were talking about it or we heard about it, but didn't somebody, a plumber, also say it's like bad for your pipes?
What is?
Peeing in your shower?
Oh, yeah. They said because of all the salt. A
Like,
plumber
how
will
much
tell you.
How much are you peeing?
I don't know, but a plumber will tell you the difference between a shower that's been peed in and a shower that hasn't been peed in. We had plumbers text in that day and told us that.
That's why I do my own plumbing. I don't want them coming over knowing what I've done.
Shaking out big, ground salt from in there. Whoa, what is that?
It's like an old Ukrainian salt mine in here.
They say when standing, here's what they say. Seating is the most efficient way for you to pee, so to speak. While standing up peeing, guys are most at risk for hyperplasia? Hyperplasia? I don't even know what this is. They describe it though. The prostate gland and the surrounding areas expand, which can block your urethra.
But it will help you float.
While others might look down on you sitting down to pee, let them go ahead. How many people are you peeing in front of where it becomes an issue whether you're standing or sitting? They do say that peeing while sitting is your best option. And again, why are those people standing around watching you, judging you as you pee?
Yeah, Ricky gave for the live stream. I sit all the time for everything now. I'm too lazy to clean up. It makes my life easier. And my bidet has a heated seat, so I'm bougie.
There might be something to that.
Yeah.
I might start doing it just because of laziness alone.
I always laugh. My life would be a lot easier if I could find one of those commercial grade toilet seats for my home bathroom that has the drop zone in it. So you're like, good. No cleaning up the dribble.
All right, a couple of these really quick, just because they're hilarious. We did them last year, and 2025 is a new year. Everybody's looking up what is their state most famous for on Urban Dictionary. Some of these, I'm going to tell you right now, you can go look these up on your own, man. This is, in your own time, because some of these things are so fucking filthy that I'm not even going to touch them on the podcast. There's a lot of poop and butt stuff on here that I'm just...
Hey, is poop the new pee in 2025?
No, poop is still the poop.
Oh,
It's still poop is poop.
Still the old poop. Huh?
So some of these, and I'll fish through some of them and hopefully keep all the, the German stuff out of the conversation. Some of these are so funny. When it comes to the state of Arizona, according to Urban Dictionary, what are they most famous for? Why, that would be the Phoenix Riot Shield.
I don't like the sound of this at all. At all.
Again, I don't know where people come up with this shit. But whoever it is, if it's you, pat on the back.
If it's you, it's one guy named Todd somewhere.
Because all of these things are fucked, man. The Phoenix Riot Shield is when a man is forced to splash his juice onto a napkin and then hold it out in front of himself to defend himself from an attacker.
Testicles.
No, but it does involve butt stuff. It's while engaging with intercourse with a woman from behind, this is their words, a quick, sudden, and forceful penetration of the anus. Often occurring by accident, but often occurring as a "how do you do" to simply ring her bell. In Connecticut, they have the Hartford hot sauce. That's easy. You can figure that one out quickly, right? Instead of lubing up your condom, you hot sauce it.
Oops, I did the inside. My bad.
I'm not even sure how this is even possible. Delaware, Urban Dictionary, they have the Dover dust-off. It's the act of receiving oral stimulation from one's partner. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
While simultaneously having one's rectum manipulated by a vacuum. What? You're You're doing what now over there? You're doing what?
I need to know more about this manipulation.
In Florida, Urban Dictionary that made them so famous, it's called the Tallahassee Night Train.
Gross.
No, it gets worse. It is the act of ejaculating into a sock and then hitting someone in the face with the soiled sock.
What was the thing they used to do off Jackass where they throw flour in your face and then hit you?
The
This
act,
is way worse.
the act, by the way, preferably done while yelling "Boom! TNT" at the moment of impact.
Hey, we've got some live streamers that yelled it out before you called it. TNT.
By the way, the TNT stands for Tallahassee Night Train.
So gross. Vaguely moist hit to the face.
Okay, hang on. There's some poop stuff right here. Hang on 1 second.
Poop. No, poop.
Idaho has the Idaho potato sack, a sexual act in which a male punches himself in the testicles until they swell to 2 or 3 times their actual size, and then teabags his recipient unforgivably.
With an extra huge sack.
The act is not complete until the victim blacks out or receives a serious facial wound.
Wow. Hard up for fun out there.
Oh boy. Indiana? Urban Dictionary, what are they most known for?
Somebody guessed the Hoosier hot tie.
And it isn't. It isn't. It sure isn't. It is the Indiana clown pie.
I don't even know if I want to know what it is.
You completely cover her face, resembling that of a pie being smashed.
Just imagine that meme of that guy putting on the clown makeup gradually over 4 frames. Only it's semen.
Hey, in Kansas they have the Topeka Destroyer. When you're getting head after a long night of drinking and you barf on the girl's head while she's bobbing you off, it's known as the Topeka Destroyer because it destroys the chances of you ever getting head from this girl again.
There's a whole society of people out there that are into some pretty fun stuff.
Kentucky, known for the Kentucky lawnmower.
Is this where you pick her up by her legs?
Not quite. Doggy style, you reach forward, knock her arms out from under her, and then you push her across the room.
Oh, Jesus.
One more, then we gotta be done, man. This is killing me, man. Okay, nope, that's poop stuff.
Oh, it's poop again.
Wait a minute. In Minnesota, they call it the Minneapolis bullfrog. It's the act of inserting your scrotum and testicles into the vagina while being balls deep. A successful attempt will result in discomfort for both parties, followed by a sharp, followed by the expulsion of the testes from the vagina, which resembles a bullfrog crawling out of the mud. What is wrong with these people that are coming up with these things?
Disgusting.
Yeah, some of them also don't make a whole lot of sense. Here, one more and then we're done. New Mexico has from Urban Dictionary, it is the New Mexico window washer. That's when you spill your juice onto a fresh towel and wipe it on someone's face. Jesus Christ.
Half of these sounds like things that fraternities do to jump you in.
That's hilarious. All right, here's where things get real weird. This is also we're going to find out too, by the way. Apparently, pornography on the internet, they're not always telling us the truth. Sometimes they lie about things. There's obviously no shortage of sexual misconceptions out there in the world, especially when you're watching pornography. In recent years, one of them has been the misguided idea. They say that of how much should explode out of a dude.
It's weird because if you have seen any pornography on the internet in the last couple of years, inevitably you'll see a sidebar ad or a pop-up for some sort of product that will promise you thicker, more voluminous cum, like
Well, this is what it says. This has led to an increase in the sales of unregulated supplements that tout the ability to boost a guy's, you know,
I don't understand though who's clamoring for this, because you never hear women say, "Oh, his semen was pathetic."
I have never even seen it on an internet movie where a woman complained. She said, "Boy, that just doesn't seem like enough to me."
Yeah.
Maybe there's some did you bring some friends too? Because you seem to be running a little bit low, and I need to be topped off here. And you contributed nothing to the tank.
Yeah, from the stream. Those porn ads for bigger loads always make me so uncomfortable. Like, what guy is out there wanting this?
I've never seen one, but I have to see one now because they
Hey,
sound hilarious.
It's funny because they obviously use some other product to show you, but it's like the most like overblown like jizz can, and just like stringing ropes everywhere.
For the record, the International Society of Sexual Medicine says that the average output is between what? This doesn't mean anything to me.
Now, before you tell me, the average output, I always heard that the classic rock band 10cc referred to the amount of cum. It's 10 cc, whatever a cc stands for.
See, it doesn't.
Cubic centimeters?
I have no idea what a CC is. Outside of the guitar player in Poison, I don't know what a CC is. The average male output is between 1.25 and 5 milliliters. Again, I don't have a reference for that. I don't know how much a milliliter is. On the high end,
I'm looking around. There's something that's proven might be milliliters. Where are we?
right. On the high end of the scale, here we go. On the high end, that's about 1 teaspoon.
Why, that's not very much at all.
Yeah, a teaspoon doesn't seem like a lot to me, right?
If you add a teaspoon of garlic to something, it's not very garlicky. However, if you add a teaspoon of semen to something, it's quite semeny.
In my opinion, that's a lot. There's not a lot.
Yeah.
There's only I cut the recipe in half, so there's only a half a teaspoon of semen in there. I would say that's still too much semen. That's a lot.
A teaspoon of honey in your tea is delightful. A teaspoon of semen seems like overkill.
I would actually rather take the medicine. They say that might not exactly jive with some of the things that guys see in adult videos, right? A teaspoon. I don't think you never see like a teaspoon get thrown around the room, right?
No. It always seems like a lot.
Right.
Like many spoonfuls.
You know, it's women are much like real life when women are so quick to say, "Please come on my face." It's like a ton.
But she can't say that, and you produce like a droplet. You're like, bloop, little kiss on your nose. Bloop.
You're squeezing it out like a little pinprick at the doctor's office so that you get a quick blood sample. That's not going to do it for you.
But also, like, isn't it, if you want a bigger load, don't you just pretend to be a monk for a few days and not
I have no idea.
not bust a nut?
I have no idea. They do say that what you do see in the adult films is probably manufactured behind the scenes and it's fake, just to make it more impressive than the reality of the situation. Yeah, I mean, we would all feel a little bit gypped because we're so jaded now that we saw some guy just squeaker out some little load. We'd be like, "Oh, boo this man, boo."
You guys, don't act like you wouldn't be disappointed if at the end of a video the guy just poofs with a little dribble.
That's what I just said, yeah. He's like yeah, and then that's it.
Oh yeah, somebody else. Oh, it's all about those ropes. Gross.
It's so disgusting.
I don't need another thing to be sexually nervous about. Like, is my wife telling her friends that I don't have good ropes? Like, am I not throwing good web or whatever the kids call it?
Saturation, he did not. It was not a soaking rain. They say as far as these supplements go, the jury is still out. So I guess that's good news. If you're looking for a bigger load, I guess they may be working. There is reason to doubt, though, whether many of them even work at all. There's also a risk of them negatively impacting the effects of prescription drugs you might already be on, so making sure there's...
By the way, if you're ordering things off a fucking porno video, that's 1,000 times worse than T-Mobile or TikTok.
They say...
Just take my identity and fucking send me poison.
Oh no, this makes it even worse. They say there's a risk of your load enhancement pills affecting your prescriptions that you're already on. So their advice, So make sure there's solid communication with your doctor.
No. Hey, Doc. I saw some stuff on the internet to give me thick ropes of gum.
Are you on any medication I don't know about? Yeah. I got.
I wouldn't say it's medication per se, more of a supplement.
They do say if blowing like a volcano is really important to a guy, you should try drinking more water
Hey,
and then take a few days off.
you better tell your doctor too, because if you have something that gives you a heart attack, they'll figure it out in the autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
He combined cum pills with heart medication.
And just you're lying by elimination. They're going to make sure that ends up on your death certificate to humiliate you in front of your family.
Black Impala 07 says you can buy this straight from the Chatterbait website.
Oh, the
semen enhancing drug.
all right. I'm gonna
Good old Chatterbait. Do we still have some Chatterbait coins left?
go. No, I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
I think we burned them. No, we didn't burn them. Oh, we didn't use them at all. We were afraid to. Remember, because our names were attached to them.
Yeah.
So as soon as we logged in, they're like, "Oh, it's the Jason Lee Cluck show."
As a promotional interview item, we were given like 1,000 Chatterbait coins, but then it became a standoff where if Jason logged in and saw that there was some missing, he would know that I was stealing from the coffers, and then I would check to see if he was stealing, but I wouldn't take any because I don't want to get caught. So now they've probably rolled over with interest. We probably have 2,000 fucking Chatterbait coins now.
Looks like Bitcoin.
Made all my fortune not spending my Chatterbait money.
The reality is, you have to have the username to get in to spend your Bitcoins, and the username was the name of the show.
So we just thought it better if we just not do it.
So there's two different ways you can look at it. They can think that one of us is a porno pervert, which obviously one of us is, but they could also look at it as, oh, this must be what they do after they get done with the show every day, is they sit around and watch Chatterbait together. That was probably my biggest fear. All right, there you go. There's the podcast for this week. Jesus Christ, it seems like we learned a lot. You know why? Because we learned a lot. Again, thank you for always being a part of this podcast every week. And you can stay up to date, all things, all the time by heading over to jlnkshow.com. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Forgot all about those Chatterbait coins.